Hey everyone, welcome to the Jankyard. I'm your host, The Treatment, and today we are going to be getting our very first look at the Collection of Ashes, Game 1, or Round 1, mbauers versus hmaster. This is exciting because we love the collection, and I'm excited for basically all of these matches. So I'm going to hop right over because the game is at least up. We already covered the Collection of Ashes decks in the last stream with Shadowfire, and so we know that Matt is on Cole and hmaster is on an Aerodel Rejuvenate plan. So I'm gonna, well, I guess I could pull those up as well, but I think it'll just be more fun to just watch the game, be ready to go, and this should be a good time. So, I haven't shared the link with everyone, so I'm assuming that no one's going to be hopping in unless they see this, but you can watch it, later. All right, so we're off to the races. Let me just pull this up. We've got the first 5 selection, and let's see, we don't know who is going to be going first yet. So I'm going to quickly pull up the deck lists that I have them, and also do a quick share of the link so that people can watch. hmaster rolls and chooses to go second. All right, let me get this link. Share, copy. All right, here we go. So it's shared for those of you who follow us on Discord. Rather, or on the Ashes Discord, I should say. All right, Matt coming down with Shade Prowler, meditating 4 dice. Really wants those power sides, no nature. So we've got 2 old salts in the bin and an adrenaline rush gone. I assume that this will be more of a controlling match because unlike the other Aerodel lists, which are creeper lists, this is much more of a punchy Aerodel list. It's got the River Colossus, it's got the Divers, it's got Griffin, and so we're going to see more board fighting. And Matt tends to be sort of a controlled player, makes a lot of good use of Slash. He's got the Shifting Mist in his list, which we talked about, given that he needs all these power sides. I'm actually thinking that if he didn't start with it, he might, if he didn't play it first, he played Shade Prowler first, he might not actually have started it. Otherwise, that was just 4 meditations for nothing. But he is playing to the board. He's going to play his Frostback Bears and Prowlers, which are good to counter the aggression that Hippo can put out, because as we know, Hippo has some bypass built in, so it's good to have 2 big beefy units down. They unfortunately trade poorly into the Griffin with the quick strike, so can assume that Cole is going to be guarding some of those, and that will sort of feed into hmaster's plan. Let's see. I'm going to pull up Matt's list so that I know exactly what's going on. All right, so we've got Butterfly Monk is also in Matt's list, which is another reason why he probably meditated up. So that'll help him tank some hits and keep going. Shade Prowler is it's going to be interesting. He doesn't have a natural way of buffing or debuffing the River Colossus. I mean, he does have massive growth, but that's not a great way to do it. I also see that he meditated up an illusion die, and he does have 2 Fate Reflections and 2 Figures in the Fogs, so it's almost certainly for, in this case, the Fate Reflections, because he wants to avoid the Aerodel Water Blast. So we can assume that at least one of those is Fate, which leaves him on 2, 3, So he'll still have 4 dice left after the bear, and I would assume that that means either he's running, I mean, he could be running actually Gates Defender. I say that that's for Fate Reflection, but it could be Gates Defender. But I'm assuming that it's probably going to be an Old Salt and what else? And 100 Blades. That's what I would assume. Okay, so it's going to be Butterfly Monk. Okay, so if it's Butterfly Monk, there's 3 dice there. It could be Hammer Knight and Fate Reflection. That would be a pretty beefy board. Potentially some very good carryover value. The nice thing about the Prowler is it can act as a really easy jump blocker. Well, I mean, the Hippo would prioritize the Prospect Bear, but it could be a blocker, or it could just kill off the Diver and pressure the Cloudburst Griffin, which is very nice. The Butterfly Monk coming down probably, if not now, I would assume soon, because he doesn't have to worry about the Cerulean Diver ping right now. By the way, with my current setup on one monitor, I can't see any of the chat messages, so I'm not ignoring you guys. I just can't see it. Let me open up my side screen and then I can actually see what's going on. Oh, hey, Fritz is in the list. Does Bowers have? No, he doesn't. No, he's... Oh, let me just mute my... Okay. He's got... Oh, no, he does. Sorry. I didn't scroll down far enough. I didn't fully have it in screen. He does have Ice Traps. That could be it. Instead of Fate Reflection, you're right. That could be it. Fate Reflection would be something. 2 Shadows would be interesting, because then you're sort of assuming that your opponent is going to play Rejuvenate, so you're trying to strand like the River Colossus. For instance, you let it swing and you just say, whatever. He does have a 1-of. So the question is whether he tanks this 4-attack hit. I'm assuming he doesn't, and then he could just Fate Reflect to kill the River Colossus. That would be one option. Or he ends up waiting for like the Griffin 100 Blades and then slashes one of them away, and Fate Reflects the other. Something like that. Anyway, good to have you, Fritz. Let me know if the sound is okay. It looks like I'm at the right volumes, but it wouldn't be the Jankyard without having some janky tech. So here we go. Pretty standard opening. The Airedale player wanting to play out all of their books. Let's do the count up. So we've got Cloudburst takes 2, Diver takes 1, Airedale takes another 1, so that's 4. Rejuvenate is a possibility, so let's just say that that's 5 dice. That still leaves 2 dice left, right? So that could be, I don't remember the Airedale list. That could be, can't really be much. I'm assuming he doesn't rejuvenate then, because it would be hard to rejuvenate a lot of this stuff. So I'm thinking that instead it's probably Sonic or Huntmaster, and he just hasn't meditated up for it. That would be a more powerful start, and you leave the rejuvenate for subsequent rounds. Ice Trap would be very good to handle the Griffin round 1, and he does have 3 of them. So you're right. That is a very solid play, and he does have the frog die still there. In which case he would be running Ice Trap and 100 Blades and then something to draw into. Clashing Tempers turns off Prowler. Don't you mean? Oh, yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it does in this case, which is a very interesting choice. Okay, so it is the rejuvenate plan. It doesn't just turn off Prowler though; it also turns off an easy 100 blades, which is pretty cool. And turns off an easy old salt ping if he was expecting old salt. This is where the open list it becomes so hard to even think about what is going to come down because both players know each other's lists, and then it starts getting to mind game first fives. Um, so yeah, that's a very cool play to go with the ice adaptation on the River Colossus to ensure that you're keeping it alive, and then the fire adaptation on the diver to get an extra value out of it. I'm curious to see. No, he's gonna rejuvenate right off the bat. Okay, so the bear is down because Matt chose not to guard. This River Colossus is still going to swing the big swing, because there's still 2 dice left that will be used for the Griffin, and there's still a Water Blast in play. This is a pretty good open from hmaster. I gotta say, that Clashing Tempers was something. That was very cool. All right, Matt does have the old salt. Interesting. So it's old salt and 100 blades. I would assume. Well, I mean, it could be Fate Reflection and Frog Ping, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, that might be more likely. Fate Reflection, Frog Ping, I think, is potentially a better lineup here than 100 blades. Yep, so there's the Frog Ping, and now if the Colossus swings, it dies and he trades out the old salt. Matt still is gonna eat 3 damage because the Shade Prowler, I mean, you don't care about killing, so the Griffin's just gonna get a free swing to face. Ooh, interesting. hmaster just wants to put the damage down. So, I mean, you gotta know that it's gonna be Water Blast, Fate Reflection, right? Like, you gotta know that. That's an interesting choice. Hey, Carl, what's up? I mean, you obviously don't have your Airedale Guard anymore, so you can't just summon the Griffin, and you also needed the 2 dice for it. But to swing the face instead of swinging at the old salt and trading it away, I guess you're just like, hey, I want to get the value out of it because I've already rejuvenated. That's pretty cool. Aw, thanks, Carl. Appreciate it. I know there's like, I don't know, a few second delay between what I'm watching and streaming and what's on the actual stream. Yeah, exactly, Fritz. That's what I was wondering. Gives the same decision but can pull guard. Yeah. Yeah, I guess he just wants to race. And he's going to take 2 to the face. And he's not going to Water Blast because he knows anyway. Okay. Well, that was interesting. Okay. So Matt gets to keep the Fate Reflection. See, I would have knowing that hmaster is going top of round and that all he would lose is a Conjuration versus Matt losing an ally, I would have used up the Water Blast. You use it up, you call out the Fate Reflection. That's a win for the Airedale player in my book. Because you're going top around, so you're not going to take damage. You get to put down a Conjuration. You're not losing any cards in deck. And one less thing to worry about. And then Matt also has to meditate up if, he were to draw into another Fate Reflection for the next round. So all around, I think that was a poor choice from hmaster. Like, it's just worth losing the Griffin. Here, I guess the idea is that you're going to gain either the guard or you're going to gain on the board. But I don't know. Having a Fate Reflection hang around that turns off your PB ability when you know you're gonna you have solid books anyway. Maybe Carl or Fritz, you have a different idea on that approach. You can let me know in chat. Second Rejuvenate comes down. Now things start getting a little bit spicy because it's pretty cheap to rejuvenate the hippo twice, given that it's on 2 attacks. It's not as cheap to rejuvenate the Cloudburst Griffin, but still, it's an interesting thing. Future Griffins do risk ice traps, yes, but you don't know that he's going to roll a frog die at top of round anyway, right? You would not have used it. Okay. I mean, you're a better player than I am, so that's fair. That's fair. I mean, this isn't going to be a fatigue game anyway, so I guess you're not really ultimately concerned about the cards and the meditation, like as a pressure point. But still, Matt is, down to half-life, and we know that he's not carrying 100 blades. He's got the protection against, meditates ice trap. Well, that's never what you want to see, especially if you're meditating. Okay. All right. Fair enough, Fritz. All right, so we've got the Prowler coming down. Matt was able to clean up the whole board, which was good. I'm assuming we're going to see the River Colossus come down sooner than later. I'd be interested in seeing whether Matt just starts punching back, because I'm not sure how he's going to wrestle full board control. He's got 3 ice traps in deck, though. I did say that, right? I double check that list. Yeah, 3 ice traps, and 2 figures, 2 fates. So not really worried on that count. He's got 3 old salts, and they're all in the bin, unfortunately. And he's got 1 adrenaline rush, which is in the bin, and he's got 3 festers, so 1 of those still remaining. There you go. Yeah, that is a concern. 6 allies in total. At least he started the 3 books, which is good. But having to deal with the rejuvenation, I think hmaster can take his time, and he's already ahead on life total, and he's going to be ahead on board as well. That is a little bit risky. Probably should do it this way. Get rid of the bookmarks. Okay, so Hippo's coming down. That is going to... Oh! Massive growth. That's cool to see. Swinging a slash takes care of it. That's fun. You gotta love massive growth play. Meditates 100 blades. Alright. Still, this is very fun. A frog ping and a swing takes care of the Colossus and gets 6 damage through. Very spicy. Love it. You gotta love it. Or just a slash. Anything, really. Frog ping, slash. There's so many options for Matt right now. That is very cool to see. I mean, that's one way of dealing with units. Both players are playing fairly patiently. They're really thinking through their options. Oh, light swordsman comes down. So he's just playing aggressive. How many? He's got 3 light swordsmen. I forgot about that, but he doesn't have the glory. That's what we had talked about. Oh, Gates defender. Nice. Nice play. Oh, this is going to be a good counter swing. I mean, for 8 damage, that's a pretty good counter swing. And killing off the River Colossus. There it is. Slash, swing, boom. He knows he doesn't have any Fate Reflection ability. Well, he's got 2 Fate Reflections in deck, but he doesn't have the ability to use it because he didn't meditate up. You gotta at least bluff your Fate Reflections. There it is. All right, punching just for 6. He's gonna be a little more patient with the Gates defender, just leaving it there. That was fun. Evens up the life totals very quick. Super cool. All right. Now what are we going to see from hmaster? I'm assuming he's going to play either the diver and cycle through whatever he needs, or maybe he'll actually get the griffin down at this juncture. Matt still has 2 dice for the bear, a die for the butterfly monk, and we know that we assume he's got the Fate Reflection in hand, so that would be the remaining 4 dice, and that also leaves 1 card for slashing. So for instance, this diver comes down, he can slash it up and swing. There is potential for another light swordsman attack, but that foregoes the ability to play griffin, so that would not be ideal. And Matt also has top of round, so the prowler is going to die, but if he can, and it's too bad he lost the adrenaline rush, if he can keep the Gates defender alive and a bear alive, that is very close to lethal. Like, that'll get him down to 4, and then a slash, if the board is clear, is 5. So it gets very dicey. This is a closer game than it would at first appear. All right, hmaster is playing a huntmaster. I've always wondered if that's why his name is hmaster, if he just really loves huntmaster. Who knows? Nonetheless, very cool. All right, so now there's even more pressure. I mean, the Panther Spirit can die to a slash, but not ideal. I would assume the Butterfly Monk comes down. He's also giving up the ability to Water Blast, so really that means that Matt doesn't need to worry about Fate Reflection. He could ultimately end up using it for a slash, knowing that he's got at least 1 more. It really depends on if he thinks he can get lethal. I would assume Matt tries to swing at the Huntmaster and pull guard, but that would also be kind of risky because that's facing 4 damage on the counter swing. He's going to play 2 shadows. Oh, Fritz, he called it. So it was not Fate Reflection, it was 2 shadows. Okay. See, folks, this is why you never know. You can easily be wrong about things. Reverbs. Oh, I should pull out hmaster's discard. Yes, there is 1 reverb. Sorry about that, guys. There's 1 reverb, 1 book. There's 2 sonics. So his sonics are down. Sonics are gone. The wallop, there's 1 more wallop. The rejuvenates, the only 2 on the board, and the 2 light swordsmen. So there's 1 more light swordsman in hand. And then, yeah, the reverberates. There's also at least 1 more clashing tempers in the deck, although that won't come into play this time. There it is. Reverberate. Boom. So that's going to clean up nicely. That's a good reverb play. I've not tried it, but does anyone opine on reverberate in Cole? You're getting the damage, and then you're getting another card to potentially slash. Seems good to me. I mean, obviously you're going to run through your deck faster, but that seems like an ideal type of situation. All right, Cole slashes. Oh, so it was a Fate Reflection. So he had both. Okay, so I'm assuming that Fate Reflection was round 1, and he drew into 2 shadows. Oh, boy. Boosted Griffin swinging at the bear. He's going to take its face. Because he gained 1 life. Okay, he thinks he can clean up the Griffin, or at least put 2 more down. Okay, he's putting 2 more down. Uh-oh. Rejuvenate that Griffin. That's not good. That's lethal, isn't it? That's game. Am I wrong? Was that a mistake? Oh, no, it's not game because he doesn't have a dice for the rejuvenate. Silly, silly me. Silly treatment, not counting dice. I keep thinking rejuvenate is a freebie, but it is not. All right, so that was a good guard then. Reverb with Scald and Crescendo is also really good. Yeah. Yeah. That would be a fun Cole to build. Really aggressive. I don't know what I would want the board to be, but still, that seems very fun. All right. 2 more damage. Matt is on 3. hmaster's on 6. Nobody's playing Sympathy Pains. Nope. No Sympathy Pains in the Aerodel deck, so you don't have that to worry about. And thankfully, hmaster's not top around. Matt still has 3 life and doesn't have to worry about an immediate swing. We have not yet seen 100 Blades. I mean, we've seen it in the discard pile, but we haven't seen one. Very curious. Matt's gonna... Oh, there. Okay. Well, guys, sometimes you say these things, speak of the devil, right? And it happens. Boom. And, so what is Matt going to do? Is he going to swing? I don't think so. Or sorry, he can't swing. 100 Blades is a main action. Is he going to... He's probably going to play Shade Prowler next. And then he might want to put down a Butterfly Monk to give himself a little buffer. We do have to worry now about the Colossus and Rejuvenate, as well as Griffin and Rejuvenate. Those are both on the table. Wallop is on the table. Clashing Tempers is on the table. Yeah. I think we still have a few turns left. Yeah, Memorialize engines can be very tricky, but I guess if you're playing a lot of allies, so then you're in Divine, and probably you wouldn't want to use Ceremonial to recur. You'd want to use Shepherds, and maybe even what's that one that Rally the Troops? No, the one that brings back your allies, and that could keep your deck going so that you have a lot of slash fodder, but you also want a lot of allies to be aggressive with the crescendos and everything else, and the discard plays from Scald. So you're running Sonics. Yeah, that would be a fun list. You could probably just run off of Memorialize and Diver and run really ally heavy. Go build it, Fritz. Send it to me. That's what I want to play next. After the collection, when my brain is fried. I guess you could even take a little bit of inspiration from Carl and play, like, I don't know, Admonishers or something, as just like Cole wanting some, if you're going to play aggressive, having some chump blockers and some burn damage to finish out the game. That's an idea. All right, Hmaster playing Cloudburst Griffin instead of the Colossus. Excuse me. I mean, these rejuvenates have not been used yet, but they can now rejuvenate anything. Well, any conjuration. It would probably be broken if it could rejuvenate knights, but still would have been cool to see. All right, the other wallop is gone. The divine die is up, so that definitely leads us to a light swordsman in his deck. He's also meditating up the time die, which leads me to believe it is his own fate reflection. I don't think there's anything else. I mean, survival of the fittest, but that wouldn't be a reason. It could be a reason in theory. But the crystal archer's down. Yeah, no, I would assume that that's his own fate reflection. They could, but all the wallops are gone. So you can't rejuvenate those. It really is a cool deck. Like, both sides, I should say. I mean, Adrenaline Rush on Massive Growth Bears and Prowlers is super cool. It's almost a shame that he only has the one. It would be nice to see two. And then the Rejuvenate on Wallop Hippos is very cool. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Huntmaster buff onto the Griffin and a swing on the Frostback Bear. Matt can't guard that. He does have Figures in the Fog, though. I keep forgetting that. Figures in the Fog could be his out, because he wouldn't have to tank that to the face, and then he's got the ability to counter swing, but he's going to play another unit first. Is there the second Massive Growth is still on the table? Yeah, still on the table. So it could be what he's looking to line up as the final play. In which case, if Huntmaster has Fate Reflect... Oh, Reverberate. Oof. Interesting. Huh. More worried about the Prowler than the Bear. Okay. Fair enough. I guess he was really worried about the same type of Massive Growth Prowler again. I mean, he's got enough bodies to not worry about terrifying. So, okay. Yeah, I can see it. Alright. What's he going to do as his main action? He could pass. He could put a diver down, get another body so that it's then a Huntmaster target, and also have the light swordsman as the counter swing, and then you got 4 units on board, you just swing for the win. Matt taking a few seconds here. Obviously can't guard, but he's deciding, I'm assuming, whether to play Figures in the Fog or not. He chooses to play Figures in the Fog. There you go. Okay. I wonder if at any point Matt had a regress. Oh, Fester on the Huntmaster. Okay. Okay. So now he's lining up potentially 2 Frostback Bears. There's only the River Colossus that can actually guard one of them. If it's a Magnified Bear, you gotta worry about, was there at least one more 100 Blades? One more 100 Blades. Festers are all gone. Ice Trap isn't going to matter. Hammer Knight, can't play that though. Mist Typhoon. Mist Typhoon with slashes is an option. And potentially still has another Fate Reflection. Okay, so there you go. On the Aerodale side, what does he have? He has at least one more Huntmaster in deck. He's got one more Light Swordsman. He's got Fate Reflections and Survival of the Fittest. Oh, and 2 Beast Warriors. And since it's not his turn, those Beast Warriors actually do pack a punch and are a threat. So that would be interesting. All right. Still in the tank here. hmaster is really thinking, how do I get the final 3 damage? Might be the time to rejuvenate if you have a Light Swordsman. He's got to worry about the Light Swordsman getting ice trapped, of course, which would be bad news. Oh, Raptor Herder. Wait. Did I somehow miss that? I did miss that. Okay. I mean, not always the type of unit you want to play into a cool player with Mist Typhoons, but or 100 Blades. But I guess it's a little bit of a weighted out. He is 6 dice to Matt's 4. Neither of those block the bear. So Matt, I mean, in theory, if he's got a massive growth, that all of a sudden becomes a problem. I think Matt... Does Matt put out the other bear? He's weighing all of his options. I'm assuming it's got to be either something like a Fate Reflection or... Actually, could it be the other Gates Defender? Does he have 2 Gates Defenders? He does. Okay, so could be Gates Defender for the tempo swing back. And if he can find some way of... Okay, it could be 100 Blades, clean up the board, and then he's got one more card. No, he wouldn't have one. Yeah, he would. He would draw into one more card for the slash win for the burn, like off the burn. And hmaster really just thinking, can I survive this round? Maybe chip away a little bit and then get a counter swing. Because the Rejuvenate is still a very considerable threat. Rejuvenate and then 100 Blades would be pretty bad. Huntmaster at least is 3 life. Hippo is 4 life. I think those are your better odds for just keeping a body that can block and hold out. They're also available rejuvenate targets, so that's, even though that's only either of those are 3 dice, you still have a lot of options left. Yeah, he still has a Light Swordsman. So I'm assuming he's holding it and he's wondering, like, if I play it, but then it's an ice trap, you know. But then you got to wonder, okay, well, it gets rid of an ice trap and he's down a die. He's only at 3 dice. I still have 5. He can play a Frostback Bear, but then he's only got 1 die left. What is that at best case? That at best case, that's a Fate Reflections or Figures in the Fog. No, it can't be a Fate Reflection. No, it can be. Yeah. And then he doesn't have any cards, and if he doesn't have any cards, then he can't slash. So then can you get the Raptor Herder in or the Griffin in for the swing? There's a lot to think about, actually. There's a lot of play lines. So now Matt is going through it. Matt's taking his time to really think through probably those same lines. I'm really curious. Like, when you guys, if you guys watch my casting of your games, do you ever just laugh and think this guy has no idea what he's talking about? Because I can't see the cards. So it's always an interesting challenge to think not only what you have, but then based off of those cards, think what the play lines are. And I'm trying to do it, obviously, for both players. Massive growth. He's going all in. Okay. He's going all in on this plan. The River Colossus has to come down. Unless he has Huntmaster would also be a body that he can't easily get rid of. Yeah, I don't know, Matt. Is that it? Is that the play? Can't be attacked or guarded by units with attack value of 1 or less. It's, you know what? I go back now to that reverberate play. I think that reverb was the right play. I thought originally it was going to be take out the Frostback Bear, but in this scenario, a massive growth Prowler is way more of a concern in terms of ending the game this round. It obviously isn't better for winning next round because would obviously have no units on board. But yeah, so I eat my words a little bit. I don't think Matt can win now either. I think this is I'm not sure I like that play. I think having a second Frostback Bear is or was potentially better. Obviously, we don't know if he had the other 100 blades. He probably has a Figures or Fate, and he's hoping that if the Colossus swings, he figures the River Colossus swings back, but no, I don't know. I think this is it. I think even if it's a Gates Defender, like you can't take 3 damage between the herder and hatchling. You can't take the Colossus damage. If you swing, you get blocked by the Colossus, but then the Griffin gets rejuvenated and it's a swing with group tactics and you still lose. Matt passes. Oh, Light Swordsman. And he knows that he doesn't have Ice Trap for it. And then he passes. That's game. Right? hmaster goes top around. That's game. Yeah. That was really well played by hmaster. If I'm not mistaken, I think that means that hmaster is my opponent for round 2. Very scary deck. Yeah. So even if it was a Figures in the Fog, there's nothing to stop against here. That was really well played out. I probably would have played that Colossus earlier instead of the Raptor Herder, but that was an interesting line for sure. Oh, he finally drew all his blades. So he didn't have the 100 blades last turn. All right. It is what it is. So it was the Gates Defender, alas. Yeah. Well played. That was actually a really exciting game. There were some long pauses there for both players to think, which gave me time to sort of try and think through those same options, and it was, I think, very complex. That was a lot of thinking on each side how they could win because it was so close and just one slip up. Very interesting to see that Rejuvenate was not played even once. I think it's very possible that hmaster could have won last round anyway, but this was the more patient play, and I think as soon as Matt passes, that's an easy Light Swordsman drop and you're good. The 2 Old Salts in the bin, yeah, those were painful. The Clashing Tempers opening was something I did not see coming. Very, very cool all around. All right. Well, there you go, guys. I got a drop. This was just a quickie for me. But hopefully I get to cover other collections games. Please let me know when you're playing. I'm not saying I will have time, but at least it gives me time to try and arrange it with my own schedule. And of course, everyone, please thank Mrs. Treatment for being so tolerant of me dropping out when we've got other things to do and kids to watch over. So without further ado, have yourselves a really good afternoon, really good weekend, and we'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.